Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is the legendary Founding Titan. Uh, if you couldn't tell by the title of the video, you can probably assume that, my journey with, predecessor is done. I have no more interest in playing it. Um, I was going to do a few more things. I was gonna do a Grux video, a master my rampage and Narbash, but I've ran out of motivation and care to really keep playing these games. As I stated before in Paragon Overprime when it died, I have a tough time actually moving on from these games. And that still remains true to this day. I keep finding myself back, Paragon Overprime was supposed to be my final, days of, this universe of characters and everything else, uh, with these developers and all of that. It wasn't. I moved on to a predecessor nearly 2 months later, and found myself in the same predicament where I put hours and hours and hours into the game, only to be absolutely frustrated every time because it's not Paragon that I loved, in 2018, and it's not supposed to be. It will never be, And I keep trying to relive these past, just the past. Uh, in 2018, I just keep trying to relive those memories. And the truth is, the entire game, not just Predecessor, but for Overprime, Fault, and Predecessor, all share the same thing. They all are nothing like Paragon. They don't have any of the originality that it carried. And because they all try to do their own thing. But I'm kind of just fed up with it at this point. The Predecessor is a good game. I will not deny that. I poured in a lot of hours in it. I poured in nearly 300, 400 hours. Something like not 400, probably like around 300 something. But still, I put quite a bit of time into it. So I still can say I enjoyed it. But it's only like certain matches that I will enjoy a lot. But 85% of the time, I just hate it. Absolutely hate it. I feel like the time to kill is too quick. I feel like the cards are not really well implemented with the rest of the game, like how they look and everything. And there's a lot of other factors, but those are like the big ones I can really think of. I just don't have much interest in playing it anymore, and for many people, it's probably a good thing that I do move on because I could tell that the content definitely reflects that. That it's, a lot of my content involves like enormous amount. Like when it comes to this game specifically, it comes to an enormous amount of swearing, which I always do in any video. But for Predecessor, it gets ramped up to 11 because of the frustration. I don't really take the game seriously anymore. Like I always try to run like joke builds, and I just get stomped on. And my friend stopped playing it a while back, and even gives me less reason to keep playing it. And the main reason I kind of stayed around for so long as well, I guess, is I did have a glimmer of hope that I'd reunite with my old friend. Because me and him went back way back. We were really good friends. But the same as this game, I find myself in a position where I have to move on for my mental health. This game was a lot of fun back in 2018, but it's not that game anymore. That game and its player base died with it. Because the player base we have now is not the Paragon that I knew. It's definitely not the people that I knew. I And like I said, Paragon the Overprime was supposed to be my end. It was supposed to be the ending of all endings for these games, right? It wasn't, because I'm a freaking fool. I keep putting myself into these positions where I have to make a video of saying goodbye again, even though I already said the same thing. Probably, I actually did say the same thing twice for Fault and Paragon the Overprime. I foolishly believed that I can have the same experience I did have 6 years ago. And I kept trying to convince myself otherwise, that it would live up to my expectations of those games. And I did pour a lot of hours into each one. Fault being 800 hours, Predecessor being 200 to 300, and Overprime, Paragon the Overprime being nearly 700. I poured a lot of hours into each one. Collectively, I probably put around 2,000 to 3,000 hours in like all 4 games, if you count the original as well. But it's time to pack our bags. It's time for me to move on, officially. And I don't mean to just say that, because there is no other game out there like this. Predecessor was the final hope, and it fell under my expectations. Like I said, my expectations was to try to relive something that died 6 years ago. The game is good. I'm not trying to talk it. I'm not trying to be negative in this video. I do think Predecessor is, on its own, a good game. But when I try to relive a great game back then, it just falls apart completely. Some of you may think it's better, some of you may think it's worse. We all have our own opinions. We might as well just be entitled to that and try not to convince people otherwise. I don't want to make people think that I'm bashing this game, because people always think that I'm trying to bash this game apart. And the truth is, I've always been a supporter of any of these titles. I've always hoped the best for them. But people think of me as like this fucking... I don't know what the fuck they think. They think I'm just like this complete hater of all these games. And realistically, I'm probably more supportive than most of you, to be honest. But I'm putting my truth out there that I can't be supporting it anymore. I have done it for nearly almost a decade at this point. Why should I keep trying when we've already had 3 games die? Not saying that this game's going to die. We don't know the fate of it. It's doing quite well right now, but I don't want to be a part of it anymore. Even if it was doing great, the things that I want changed would make it a completely different game, and it's just not going to happen. It just the world, the game, the devs don't revolve around me, and it shouldn't. Because like I said, I wanted to relive something that died. Yet again, I'm repeating myself, 6 years ago, but I'm just trying to make you realize what I'm saying here, and it's that, it's more my fault that I feel this way for these games. It's not really the dev's fault. Many people, I feel, also, like, I see a lot of reviews. A lot of people try to do the same exact thing. I left a positive review on the game, as I do truly believe it does have potential and it is a good game. I specifically said in the review, though, that it's not built for me, though, because I still have a 6-year-old mindset, a 6-year-old game in my head, and that 6-year-old, well, it wasn't, you know what I'm trying to say, the game that died 6 years ago, Paragon the Overprime EA, right? I keep trying to relive that. Foolishly, I know. And it's time to say goodbye, though. It's been a hell of a journey ever since, you know. It's been a hell of a journey since, Paragon EA. And before. I've been a part of this for 8 years. Nearly 9 now. But, it's funny, because a big part of, I just got done playing God of War, and a big part of that game was letting go. And, it kind of did speak to me about this game, too. Trying to relive something that died. I gotta just let it go. It's the only way I can really, truly find peace with these games. It's just to let the old past die. And my friend along with that. My friend probably doesn't even remember me anymore. Maybe he does, maybe he don't. But, even if we did meet again, maybe we wouldn't even like each other anymore. I mean, it's been so many years since I've talked to him. Our personalities could be intertwined now. That's not the right word, is it? Intertwined? No. Regardless, times changed. And, yeah. It's not for the worst. There's plenty of other games out there. This game, like I said, is a good game. But it isn't for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this legendary journey with me. It's been a hell of a ride. But at last, every ride hits the end of the road. Mine should have ended 6 years ago. But I kept going for another 6 years. Did I have fun? Absolutely. I said, there is one thing I want to say, though. I did say that in my Paragon video that it was a complete waste of my time to even bother with, of course, these games. I was wrong. Playing these games for this long, I mean, I had fun with each iteration. And it was also very fun to play with friends. It was also really fun to compare notes to each game and just kind of see which ones did better over others in our opinions. It was really fun to talk about, I won't lie. Even if we did miss the EA Paragon. But for content-wise and for my general health, it shouldn't remain a part of our lives when we just completely fucking hate it at this point. Because I think all of us, I think me and my friend constantly look back to what was, and it's just, it's not gonna do for content. It just gets frustrating for the audience, and I don't blame them. I get why people were mad for some of my videos, because I constantly did trash talk this game. But realistically, I did that for Paragon 2. Even though I did say I preferred Paragon to Overprime a lot, and hell, even Paragon EA, I mean, I had a lot less issues with that game, but I still had issues with it. Every iteration of this game had issues. A lot of issues at that. But this one, I just don't feel like being part of this development cycle anymore. And for my life in general, it's better that for me to just kind of move on from it. I'm sure everyone can kind of understand where I'm coming from. Like I said, it was a lot of fun while it lasted. And I realized, like I said, it wasn't a waste of my time. It only took me a bunch of time to realize that, though. But we did have fun while the journey lasted. I do have ideas for making my own game with the same characters, but it'll be like a more PvE setting with a wave defense thing. Uh, I think that would be a lot more fun than what you see here. I don't have any plans to try to do the same thing or try to copy and rival predecessor. Predecessor has, won the war. They have way more developers. Uh, if I do make my own game, it'd just be a simplified wave defense system with these characters, as I do want to get into game development. But I'm not going to promise anything because I don't know much about it. So that'll be the only time I do actually play with these characters again, is with when I do actually start my game development journey, which I will update every once in a while if I do actually start making it. I've been just training with other tools that I have at my disposal at the moment, though. It's best to just train first and then try to make things later, make bigger projects later. Because I do actually know quite a bit, a little bit more than the average person about game development. But it's not enough information to actually make a game. And like I said, I'm not promising anything. I'm just saying that this is something I kind of want to do. Even if it doesn't come out, it's just something that I can get better at and see how it goes. But yeah, I don't really promise anything about if I will actually officially release this game for the public or not. I would like to, but in my current mindset, I'm thinking that it's more likely that it'll just be like a stepping stone for my next project, whatever that might be. I've been rambling on a little bit too long, as I always fucking do, but you know how it is in this channel. I hope you guys can understand where I'm coming from. I did have more plans for this game, but I kind of completely lost interest. Again, it's a good game. It's just not for me. I think we can all live with that. Thank you all for being a part of this journey. But, yeah, this is the end of the road. 8 long years, and it comes to this. That's all I gotta say. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I have plenty of other reviews, plenty of other games to try out. I hope you guys can be a part of that. But as far as predecessor goes, I'm at the end of the line. As you can clearly tell by the tone of my voice in this video. This is the Legendary Founding Titan signing off. Peace.